Hello, everyone. It's Jason here. Welcome to my car office today. A little bit unexpected turn of events. I am broadcasting this live from my office in the car. So, hoping it's coming through okay here, both on LinkedIn and YouTube. If you could let me know in the comments if you're hearing me okay. I'm going off of my mobile bandwidth, my mobile internet. So I'm hoping that it still comes through. Okay, my daughter's coming back from camp here in a minute, in a little while, and so I needed to be here to grab her as soon as the bus comes in. But in the meantime, I'm going to spend a little time with you. And we're going to be talking about AI-powered lead magnets for coaches. And I'm going to show you how to design lead magnets using AI to really understand what it is that your ideal clients are looking for. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring up, I have just a few slides to share with you. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you an exact prompt. I'm going to give you the link to it. It's in a Google Doc, so you'll be able to take that prompt and adapt it and use it yourself. And it's just like a few little places that you enter some information so it knows about you and your ideal client and what you do. And then it does a whole bunch of analysis and gives you a bunch of ideas for really effective, irresistible lead magnets. So the goal by the end of the day today is that you will have this prompt, you'll know how to use it, and you'll be able to quickly leverage it to get some really high quality lead magnet ideas. Okay, so just curious if anyone's, video's a little bit fuzzy, I'm hearing. Okay, so we'll do our best. I'm hoping that it comes through okay. And look, I'm recording this as well. I've got a recording. So worst case, I'll make sure that everybody who registered through my email list and on LinkedIn gets access to the recording too, but we'll do the best we can here live. So I appreciate you here showing up live and for your patience with the situation here. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm just gonna bring up on my screen here some slides that I've prepared for you. And I promise we're not going to spend too much time on slides because I don't want to bore you to death. But there's some key principles that we need to understand here as we get started. All right, here we go. Oops. Too many windows open. Here it is. Okay, so talking about AI-powered lead magnet coaches and consultants here today. And I'll come back and check the comments here in a minute, so feel free to ask questions that come up, and I'll definitely address those as well. And I can share with you the live, so don't worry if people like picked up quickly enough or anything like that. Okay, so here I want to talk about this. There's an issue coaching consultants are facing that their offers, whether it's one-on-one offer, whatever the case may be. And we all know that lead generation is an important part of filling your pipeline to keep that consistent stream of clients coming through. None of us want that boom and bust that can happen if you don't have that consistent stream of clients coming through. And the issue that we run into that a lot of people don't realize is that, you're like, okay, doing lead generation over here, and you want to get the right people on the phone with you here, and there's this big black box in the middle where you're not quite sure, like, how do you identify the right people who are ready to work with you and entice them onto a phone call with you? And the lead magnet is a really key part of the touch points that happen here in between in order to guide them through that customer journey to a phone call with you. But the problem is a lot of people are operating with a leaky bucket. And so as the leads come through, there's all kinds of places that people are leaking out because they don't realize that what you're offering is actually what they are looking for. Something in your messaging has a disconnect, and so they don't immediately find it relevant or resonant. And so in a matter of seconds, they're quickly filtering that out and moving on with their day. And so every day we're losing these potential leads that otherwise could be amazing clients, but our messaging just isn't landing in the right place to cut through the noise, grab their attention, and the people who are ready to work with you, have them raise their hand and indicate to you that this is where you should focus your attention in terms of leading people forward to your offer. So what we want to do is fix this leaky bucket for you today. So here's the problem: is that the better we get at what we do, the more expertise that we have, we end up falling victim to this thing called the curse of knowledge or the curse of expertise, which creates a marketing gap. And what that means is that we're over here with our expertise, and we forget what it's like to be the person that we're trying to reach back over here. And so our expertise and our message here we want to reach are over here, and this gap is what's causing the holes in the bucket to lose otherwise high quality leads that could become great clients for us. So what I want to do is help you to fix that gap today. It happens to all of us. The solution is to make sure you follow this advice from Robert Collier. That is to always enter the conversation already going on in the mind of the prospect. So we need to come back here to where our person is at and speak in language that is relevant to them, resonant to them, and remarkable in a way that cuts through the noise and shows that you have something different here to offer, gets them leaning in and wanting to learn more. So how do we do this? How do we enter the conversation already going on in their mind? We want it to feel like when you show up with your content, I feel like I have been waiting for you. You're exactly the thing that I've been waiting for, and it feels like you are describing me even better than I can describe what I'm going through and what I'm trying to accomplish and why I'm having a hard time getting there. That's the feeling we want them to have, right? So they're over here, your ideal client on one side of this cliff or chasm in the middle, and here's the treasure chest, the outcome that they want to get to. And we need to have a really good understanding of where they're at in the language that they would use to describe it, the outcomes that they want to reach in the language that they would describe it, and this gap in between, the reasons why they have not yet been able to reach these outcomes. And so what I'm going to present to you today is a way to come up with lead magnets that start to show that you've got the bridge that they've been looking for. And it's a different bridge than they realized was available, and therefore it's going to really draw their interest in, because they can't dismiss it as something they've already seen or tried or heard about a lot of times before. And I know a lot of us worry sometimes about sounding like every other expert out there that's doing similar things to us. And so this is going to help to fix that. So how do we enter this conversation already going on in their mind in terms of where they're at, where they want to go, outcomes, and these gap issues or challenges in the middle that are holding them back? Well, in addition to what those outcomes are that they are actively seeking, there are 4 different types of gap issues that exist here in the middle of this chasm, if you will. And I call these the 4 O's. The first is obstacles. So if you were to ask them, hey, you want to get over here, what's holding you back? What's been the issue? And they'll start sharing with you different things. Some of them might be legitimate. Some of them might sound like excuses. Some of them, they might be wrong. Because all the time people make bad assumptions. They don't have all the information that they need. And so we want to understand, well, what is it holding them back so that you can address those things. It's not enough to just say, like, hey, I know you want this thing and I can help you get there. We also need to point to where they're at and say, and I know that you feel like this thing is holding you back, and I have a solution to that piece to help you finally move forward. The second O is objections. Okay, so this is, what are the fears or potential risks, potential costs, or other concerns that they have when they're looking at a solution and considering whether or not that solution, your solution, is the right one for them. And one that we're often going to run into is, not enough time, not enough money or resources. Let me give you an example here, though. One of the things I help clients do is to launch new online courses and group programs. But a fear or concern that I hear a lot about launching a group program in order to be able to scale their business is that they're worried about the technology that they might have to deal with in putting together a course platform. And so that's one of the objections that holds them back, is having to deal with that tech. And another one is feeling like they have to create a whole lot of content before they can finally launch that course, and they don't want to spend a lot of time on the tech and content just to find out that they missed the mark. And so I have a solution to that I often talk about, and how to bypass having to adopt a new tech and create a lot of content to launch a new course, right? So that is one of the things that I lead with in my lead generator messaging, in lead magnets and things like that, is to address that specific objection. The next one is overstays. What are the things that they are tired of hearing, that they've heard over and over? Maybe they've tried it, it didn't work for them. And so if they were to see it again, they would immediately go like, yeah, that's just not for me. I've already been there, I've done that, I've heard about that too many times, and on they go. And so then we lose them through the leaky bucket, right? So an example for this is if you're an ADHD coach, help people with ADHD to be more productive, start and finish more of the projects that they want to get done. And if you came forward talking about things like apps or time blocking, you might get a lot of people with ADHD thinking, yeah, you know what, I've been told that before, I tried it, it doesn't work for me. I don't want another app. I don't want to have to try time blocking. I've been there. I've already tried medications. You need to know, like, what is the thing that they're looking for that's going to be different than what they feel like they've already tried or checked out that wasn't the right fit. So that's overstays. And then the final one is a really powerful one, and that is omissions. What is it that they don't realize that they're missing? What is the missing piece, the piece of knowledge, the skill, the tool, the mindset shift that you can offer that opens up a new possibility, a new path, new hope for them to reach their desired outcome? Omissions. Okay, so we want a lead magnet that not only says, hey, I can help you get to this outcome, but that addresses at least one of these gaps. And this is how we really cut through the noise and deliver something that feels highly relevant, highly resonant, and it's going to grab their attention, getting them leaning forward and saying, you know what, I need to hear more about this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a framework in AI, a prompt in AI that's going to help you do this research very quickly and then immediately give you some ideas for the lead magnets that you can deliver. Okay, so let's come back out here and let me just check in with my comments. Okay, I'm hearing the audio is really breaking up. I apologize if we're still dealing with a lot of, yeah, my internet apparently is not as good as I thought it would be. So again, I will make sure that everybody gets a clean recording of this along with the prompt if the live stream isn't working as well as you had hoped. But I appreciate you showing up live today to check this out. Okay, any questions so far in terms of the issue that we're trying to solve here with our messaging, how we want to fix that gap? We want to fill that gap, show them how it is that we build a bridge across that gap. And we want to give them some kind of new insight or new hope that they haven't heard before. And the reason why so many lead magnets fall short is it's not enough. I mean, we've probably heard the advice before, just answer one of their top 10 questions, right? Just give them, just give them, it's not enough just to like solve the obvious things. You need to not only speak to the ambition, the outcome that they want, but you also need to show how you're going to help them overcome something that they feel like is holding them back right now, or give them a missing piece that they didn't realize that they needed. Okay, so here's how we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here again. And this time, I'm going to show you the prompt. Okay. So I will share with you, and in fact, I'm going to put this into, I'll make sure that I come and drop this into the comments in YouTube as well as the comment in LinkedIn so that you can grab this prompt after. So I want you to have this in your hands to be able to use it exactly as it is right here. And you'll see this is quite a long prompt. There's a lot going on here. And you don't need to understand everything that's going on here. Really, all that you need to do is you copy and paste this prompt into ChatGPT, into Claude, whatever the case might be that you use. And you just need to fill in these 4 key pieces of information where there's bold brackets to tell the prompt a little bit about you and your ideal client that you're trying to reach. So the first thing you want to fill in here is, of course, we need to tell them who is the ideal client that you want to attract. So just describe a little bit of key criteria about who that person is. Then we want you to tell the AI what are like the top 3 outcomes that they're looking for that are most important and meaningful to your ideal client. Then down here, we want to tell them, user, that's you. We want to tell them a little bit about you. So I am a executive presence coach. I am a career coach. I'm a mental health anxiety coach. I'm a coach that works with ADHD. I'm a consultant that works on leadership and team productivity. So just describe who you are. And then right here, describe just a little bit It can be just a few bullet points, a couple sentences, a short paragraph about how you help your ideal client to reach those ideal outcomes that they want to reach. And with this information, then the AI is going to be able to take the rest of this process that I've given them. And if you look down this, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but basically what I do is I explain to the AI that we're trying to come up with what I call messaging hooks. And messaging hooks are some of the most important things you can figure out when it comes to your marketing. Messaging hooks are these 3 or 4 things that when you talk about them, whether it's a podcast interview, whether it's on stage, whether it's in a lead magnet, whether it's in a webinar, a workshop, or a live stream, that they consistently grabs the attention of the people that you are trying to reach. And when you have those messaging hooks, it becomes very easy to grab that messaging hook and turn it in to that lead generator, like a downloadable lead magnet or workshop or whatever the case might be. So I do a little describing here what it is, what a messaging hook is, a good messaging hook. And then I talk about those gaps, those 4 gaps, obstacles, objections. I'm just teaching the AI, here's what I want you to think about the outcomes, and I want you to think about these obstacles, objections, overstays, and omissions. And so the AI is going to give you a list of those things. So it's doing the research for you. It's helping you enter the conversation already going on in their mind. And then I tell the AI, here's the process I want you to follow. I want you to make a list of the gaps in these 4 areas. And then based on the information I've given you, I want you to create some headlines for potential content lead magnets. You can use it for workshops, whatever, any kind of lead generator you can turn this into. And then I give it 7 different effective types of headlines for it to create with that messaging hook. And so what it's going to do is for every one of those 4 areas, it's going to give you a lot of ideas of things that you could create as a lead magnet. And then I tell it to give the output in a very specific format that's easy for you to use. So let's look at this in action. Here's an example inside of ChatGPT. And actually, let me just come back over here really quickly. Okay, it looks like it must be coming through. I'm seeing some comments and things, so hopefully this is still working. Again, I will follow up with all of you to get you a clean recording along with this prompt. So let's look at this in action. Here is an example of a mental health coach who helps people overcome anxiety, okay? The same prompt I was just showing you, and I just filled in here, the ideal client, adult between age 30 to 55. They've dealt with anxiety for the most of their adult life. Top desired outcomes are learn how to be more aware of their anxiety, learn techniques for managing anxiety, and learn how to manage anxiety that makes it difficult for them to perform at work because they spend so much time and energy worrying about things. Okay, so those are the top 3 things this coach helps clients with. And then a little bit about the coach that's using the prompt. I'm a somatic practitioner and mental health coach. I help my clients reach their outcomes by teaching them somatic techniques to be more aware of and manage anxiety, and help them train their brain and body to be less activated and prone to anxiety. So just a little bit of information. And again, that's all you need to fill in with this prompt, these 4 bold areas, okay? And then let's see what it gives you. Messaging hook. So this is the rest of the prompt. What it does is first it goes out, does some quick research about that person. Here are the gaps, obstacles, lack of awareness about how anxiety manifests and affects their daily life, difficult finding effective techniques to manage anxiety. Let's move on down here. Fear that the new techniques won't work due to past failures. So they've tried so many different things that didn't work for them. And so these are the things that we have to cut through. When somebody shows up that you're trying to reach, you got to get through that self-doubt. You got to get through those hangups, those things that they've tried that didn't work, the bad assumptions that they've made, the worries and concerns, right? And so that's what we're doing the research for, so that the headline cuts right through that and says, look, I've got the thing that you are looking for, and this is not like anything you've seen before. Overstays, they're tired of generic advice that doesn't address their specific needs, frustrated with quick fix solutions, skeptical of promises that seem too good to be true. Omissions, they're unaware of the connection between body awareness and anxiety management, right? So it's going to give you the exact same things. It's going to give you a bunch of bullets in those 4 O areas, which is just critical client research that you should be doing anyway, that the AI can help you to do. And then what it does, it says, okay, I'm going to come up with 5 ideas for these different gaps. And it takes an outcome, it takes a gap issue, and it puts them together and says, here's an idea. So find joy without overwhelm, master anxiety management with simple body techniques. Experience calm, even if you've tried everything else, discover the somatic approach, right? So these are titles of potential articles, lead magnets, workshops, podcast interviews that you might do. And so basically it's saying, hey, for this, it's telling you right here, we're addressing these 3 gaps. And for this outcome, learn techniques for managing anxiety. And for overcoming these 3 different gaps, here are 7 ideas it came up with to help the person that's struggling with these things. And this way, it's good to have actually a few different things that you're using to generate these leads, because different people have different concerns or different things that they've run into that haven't been working well for them, right? Coming down here, so outcome, learn how to manage anxiety that makes it difficult to perform at work. And the gaps we're helping with are things like limited understanding of somatic techniques. This is a problem a lot of us run into. We use a solution that our audience is not aware of. And so when we come out talking about the solution, they don't realize that we are addressing the outcomes and challenges that they are experiencing. And so that's part of what this helps us do, is enter the conversation already going on in their mind. So perform it, here are some headline ideas. Perform at your best without the worry, master anxiety with somatic techniques. Stay calm at work, even if anxiety has held you back. The often overlooked strategy to beat work anxiety, somatic practices. I might even just go with this and not give away the punchline right there in the headline. And this brings up a good point. Like, these aren't going to be, not every idea is going to be perfect. You definitely want to find the ones that seem like the golden nuggets, refine them a little bit to your own voice, right? But the point here is we're brainstorming, researching and brainstorming very, very quickly, and guaranteed out of this one prompt, I would be able to find at least 2 or 3 ideas that were really worth developing into a lead magnet. Break from anxiety, discover the somatic solution. So this is so it's coming up with a hook here. Learn how to manage anxiety that makes it difficult to perform at work. Again, another 3 gaps that it's helping with. And then it gives a whole bunch of the headline ideas you can use for lead magnets. Okay, let me come back here and see if there are any questions that are popping up. We're getting through this really quickly. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to try. Okay, let me stop my screen. I'm going to try coming back over. I want to share this prompt with you in the comments. So I'm going to come to LinkedIn, and I'm going to drop into the comments the prompt, so you have the access to the exact document here. And then I'll also do the same on YouTube as well. Yeah, so the entire prompt with details will be sent to you to look at. Yes. So while I'm here and I'm pulling up this, I'm going to put it in. So some of you are watching on LinkedIn, some of you are watching on YouTube, and I want to make sure you both get access to this prompt. So I'm just coming down here. Okay, comments. So okay, down. Let's see. Access the prompt here. Okay, so you should see that in the comments on LinkedIn now, so you can open that now. You'll need to if you want to edit it at all, you'll need to go to make a copy, and then you'll have it to be able to edit right there in the document if that's important to you, or you can just copy it right out of that document and put it into your your ChatGPT, your Claude, whatever it is that you use. Okay, one more thing. I'm just going to come over to YouTube for those of you who are on YouTube and drop it into the comments there as well. Yeah, I'm seeing on video on YouTube, my video is a little bit fuzzy, so I appreciate you guys sticking around for this and rolling with the punches. There's been a lot of tech issues and then scheduling issues with this thing today, but I was determined to make it happen. Okay, so in the chat, so download, let's see, grab the prompt here. Okay, so you have it there on YouTube as well. Now, just one more thing that I want to share with you, because then once you've got a really great idea for your lead magnet, or it could be for a workshop or something like that, as I said, you need to have a system for using that lead magnet on a weekly, monthly basis to consistently bring high quality leads in from your list, your existing network, your social media following, your orbit, as I like to call it. And so here's what I'd like to do is I'm going to invite you. I want to invite you to this workshop here. It's taking place 1 week from today at 3 p.m. Eastern, so same time we started today. And we're going to be spending 2 hours together. But the reason why is I'm going to walk you through an entire system I call the gravity method that's going to help you to authentically attract those high value prospects. And I'm going to show you how in the next 3 weeks, 21 days, you can take this lead magnet idea or turn it into a workshop, whatever you want, either one, and put that out to your orbit and get some high quality, high value prospects that you can get on the phone and get some new clients into your program, your one-on-one, whatever it is that you are selling. Okay. And the important thing here is without feeling like you have to chase leads, without using high pressure sales tactics. And in fact, the approach that I'm going to show you, it feels, I call it marketing and sales as service. It's going to feel like you are offering service to the people that you help best. Before they're even clients, they're going to feel like you're putting so much value and service out that they're going to wonder, well, what is it like if I actually work with this person? So this is perfect for those of you who wonder, how to make marketing and sales actually feel good to you. That's what we're going to be talking about. So I want to invite you to head on over to jasonvanorden.com/GW. That's the Gravity Workshop, jasonvanorden.com/GW. There's also in the comments, both on YouTube and LinkedIn, the link to this page, Gravity Method, and you can just register there. And join me next week if you'd like to take the thing. So you have a week to use the prompt, come up with some great ideas, come back next week. I'll show you how to put together a system for using that idea to attract some new leads, some new clients, high value prospects. Okay, with all of that said, let me come back and check in. And then also inside of that document at the top are links to 2 examples, both ADHD coach as well as anxiety mental health coach examples of using the prompt. Somebody's saying it's truncated. Well, that's no good. We're certainly having all the tech issues today, aren't we? If you're having any issue with that, please feel free to reach out to me. I will make sure. I'll also message you all, email you. You signed up through LinkedIn or through my email list, and I'll make sure you get access to the prompt, the recording, the workshop, if you'd like to join me there as well. So I've got a few more minutes here. If there's anybody who has any questions that they'd like to throw out there. But thank you so much for those of you who were able to join live here. I know there's a mix-up with time zones earlier, and then I had a mix-up with picking up from sleepaway camp, and so here I am in my car office. I feel like this is like the Lincoln Lawyer or something. You remember that movie with Matthew McConaughey where he's the lawyer that does business out of his Cadillac, except for I drive a Prius. Any questions before I take off? And if you're having any trouble accessing the prompt or using it, just email me, jason@jasonvanorden.com, or send me a direct message through LinkedIn, and I'll make sure you get all set up. All right, I'm not seeing any specific questions, so it looks like we got through this in a nice half hour, so a little less time than I even thought I needed, which is actually very unusual for me. I always feel like I have way more to cover than I have time, so I'm feeling good about it. If anything went right today, it was that. I didn't have too much info to share for the time we had. Okay, awesome. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with your lead magnets. Please let me know how the prompt works for you. And we'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.